Welcome everybody, Red Arrow 23 here, time for your War Factory preview for the 2nd of March. Let's boom some breaches! Okay, let's see what Colonel Gearheart has in store for us today. So first of all, rewards. We've got some iron and some wood and some prototypes. So it's kind of good, I guess. And let's look. So laser beams covering most of the right beach and the rocket launcher and the laser beam. Might be able to squeeze some greens right on the edge there. Not all 8 boats though. And then the lasers covering most of that. You might be able to scooch under it. I'm not quite sure. I haven't tested that before from that specific defense spot. And shock blaster is covering the beach as well. So that's all good. There is 606.2k on the core. So that's a decent amount. There's no shield generators, so warriors could be an option today. We don't have to warrior rush any shield generators or AZ any shield generators before we warrior rush. But there is quite a lot of health on the core. So if you're boosted, you might stand a better chance. But unboosted, I think you probably need 2 full loads of warriors, 2 smoke landing, sort of just outside the factory supplies. Obviously clear mines first, move on in, and then you've got something like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like you could have as many or as little shocks as you want, but there's quite a few there that you need. I'd say minimum of 3 shocks, but you probably need 4 or 5. But we're going to be using AZ today, and I'm going to kick us off with a couple of bart attacks. I don't think the solo is that possible for unboosted. You can sort of sneak into this area and then clear the core from there, and you've got a bunch of shocks to throw. But I'm going to make it slightly easier on myself. I'm going to throw another barrage. I'm trying to get that boom mine on the left, whilst also, there we go, whilst also damaging this shock blaster. And we may as well get that boom mine up the top too. So my main 2 targets are this shock blaster and the 2 lower lasers that are going to be in range. So once that's done, I'll throw a critter, which won't last long, but we'll get a little bit of damage, and that's all we need. So I'm going to be looking at, yeah, look at all those lasers popping off. We're going to look at doing a 2 smoke landing around here, and then we're going to move up, sort of flare just to the left of that shock blaster that we have barted out, and then we're going to flare onto the core from there with 1, 2, 3, 4 shocks, because these lasers are going to be gone in this next GBE attack. I hate not going for the solo. I always really want to go for the solo, but I just don't like my chances today. So let's take out these 2. Always hitting the corners so that we can hit maximum amount of defenses at one time. And now we've got 33 GBE left. What are we going to do with that? So this shock is going to be the 3 lasers, shock blaster, shock launcher. The shock's going to be the 3 machine guns closest to the shock launcher. And then this one's going to be the 3 lasers, machine gun and flamethrower. The machine gun on the left should be out of play. So I mean the easiest thing would be this machine gun to be gone. Makes that shock a little bit easier on the left. But we're not going to have the GBE for it. But that's okay, we get a bit of damage. So probably would have been better off just to damage the core there, because we haven't removed this machine gun. We could go for another GBE attack to take it out. But we've already done 2. So if we do another one, then we've only got 2 chances at a troop attack. So let's have another scout, make sure we know what we're doing. So the beach is still hostile, so we don't want to be going in there unprotected. So we want to be 2 smoke, just outside the factory supplies, flare up, and then flare onto the core under a double smoke. 1 shock, 2 shocks, 3 shocks, and that left shock is probably going to be the harder one, and 1 on the rocket launchers as well. And laser beam is here. So if I have enough GBE, I want to throw a set of critters as well. I don't want to lure the, if I threw them on this machine gun here, that would lure this laser into firing straight into my girls. And I've got to remember that these lasers are here, these lasers are here, and obviously the shock launcher, if that fires at it, is the circle that the shock blaster fires, shock launcher fires, going to land on any of my Zookas. So I need to be really careful with critters today. I think the safest spot, because I want, if I'm going to be using critters, it's probably going to be distracting the rocket launcher. So if we highlight that, it's going to be firing through. So I think I'll drop them, but then they're going to get shredded by a machine gun. I might even just throw them over here, because they're not going to get taken out very quickly, and I'm not going to risk getting hit by the laser. The thing we've got to do, if we do that, is remember that we've got to get back for the shocks nice and early, and we're not going to be set up in a perfect, like, all the shocks ready to go, and the critters have to be closer to the rocket launcher than the Zookas are, otherwise they'll just shoot the Zookas if they appear at the same time. So it might just be easier to go with just straight 4 shocks and just not worry about it. Use the rocket launcher delay, so these 3 shocks need to be first, and probably before we peek out of the smoke, like a little, like give us as much time as we can with that delay. Alright, let's give it a jam. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, I can lose all my troops and do nothing and embarrass myself on YouTube. That's the spirit. Right, here we go. 2 smoke landing. So ideally we don't want to peek at all. Hopefully those Zookas are going to be out the back. There we go. And then we're going to... Oh, so we did peek to the shock launcher. We got our double smoke. Going to flare onto the core. I have enough GBE for all my shocks, which is perfect. And then I just need to throw them quickly. Bit of a peek there. Have I missed anything? Yes, I missed the shock. The laser! The laser got me good, and the top laser got me. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Let's just go for the HQ. I think we're going to have to watch the replay on that one. The ranges, I obviously missed the left laser, which killed us. But the top laser also popped off, which I wasn't expecting. Let's have a quick scout. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. So that laser range goes out to... Alright, let's watch the replay. It'll probably be easier. So double smoke landing was good. The only thing that wasn't quite perfect is I dropped the smokes and then I took too long to drop my Zookas, so that first smoke nearly expired, and then because of that had the flow-on effect that I flared up a bit late, which was why the shock launcher peaked on us. The shock launcher saw us first, so that is that spread. Oh wow, they went way over there. So we could kind of help that by going a little bit further right, basically flaring right onto where that shock blaster was, and this shock needs to be way further left. Way further left. It's just embarrassing. Okay, and that laser got them. The good thing about, if that laser does fire, it's not going to take out all of our Zookas. It's going to take out like a line of maybe 10 if we're really unlucky. But because this laser is right on the flank, it's going to go right through the line. as you can see, ba-da-da-da-da-doosh, which just does not help us at all. We got a little bit of damage on the core. Let's see how much is left, and then we'll diamond up some Zukas. Let's just diamond them up now. Let's get in. This is going to be a long video. No! Alright, so we've got 408k left. We're all diamonded up. Diamonded up? Diamonded up? I don't think that's a word. So we still got to hit this right shock. Still got to hit this shock. That's the thing I notice sometimes. If I know that I've missed this one, I'll pay heaps of attention to it, and then I might miss this shock, and then it just ruins my day as well. So I'm going to do the smoke land a little bit lower outside this factory supply. I'm going to be a bit faster on my smoke and flags and flares. And then I'm not going to worry about that laser, even if it is in range, because it's not going to take out as many girls. And I'm probably going to do the left shock first, and I'm going to be hitting, my shock point's going to be right on the corner of the two laser beams that are touching, and that should give me even a little bit inside. And still got everything else. Right, let's give it a jam. Try not to embarrass ourselves again. So we want to be around about here and here. Did peek out the bottom. It's disappointing. Didn't lose any Zukas, but we did get popped. Just going to keep it a little bit tighter as we move up. There we go. Still got all our Zukas so far. I've got 84 GBE approaching the point. I think that top laser is going to be in range again. There we go. Shock, 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 shock. But we are getting some massive damage now. So definitely just hit all those shocks and you'll have no problem. The position slightly further to the right was a big help. So you want to be flaring directly onto that shock blaster that we GBE'd out at the beginning. And that'll be the perfect spot for you guys to take it down. So give us a comment down below how you went in War Factory. Let us know if this preview helped you out a lot. Loving the New Zealand time zone, it's awesome. And give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more Boom Beach.